Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sewing a lace garter belt using the Paris pattern. Working with a stretch galloon lace, I have the back pieces for the project cut out, but let's talk about cutting out the front pattern pieces. Notice these scallops have a little bit different design. I choose one I like and then center my pattern piece over that design, having the lower edge of the pattern hit the upper edge of the scallop. After I get the first piece of lace cut out, I flip that and use that to cut out a mirror image. Once the lace is cut out, I'm going to sew the front pieces right sides together. I'm using a 3-thread stitch on my serger, but if you just have a regular sewing machine, a zigzag stitch works great too. And now same with the back pieces, I'm going to serge those right sides together. I absolutely love ironing my lingerie pieces. You'll just want to be very careful. Make sure your iron is on a synthetic setting when you do this. If you were to iron lingerie on a high heat, it would melt on you. Now working with the front pieces, I'm going to put those right sides together and serge. Finishing up the lace, we're going to take the back piece and put that right sides together against the front, sewing down the side seams. Our back seam is left open so we can later sew on the hook and eye closure. To create the garters, we're going to be using strap elastic, and strap elastic is the same as bra strap elastic. We're going to cut 4 of those at 18 inches. Taking a slider, we slip that through one end of the strap elastic. With about 3/4 inch of an overhang, I stitch down with a straight stitch. Slider sewn at the top, we're going to be working with the wrong side of the strap elastic and taking the bottom edge here and slipping it through the back of the garter clip and pulling it up through the front. We're going to take that bottom edge and then put it back through the bottom and then the top of the slider. And that's how you make the garter straps. You'll repeat those steps 3 more times for a total of 4 garters. Once those are assembled, we'll stitch down each side of the garter using a narrow zigzag stitch. I have the width of my stitch set at 2.5 and the length set at 2. With all the garters attached, we'll then be able to sew the waistband elastic. With the band elastic, that'll be cut out 2 inches shorter than the measurement of the waist. Before we sew on the band elastic, we'll compare the length of the hook and eye to make sure that the decorative edge of the picot as well as the bottom of the lace are enclosed for a clean finish. I find the center of the band elastic and then mark it with the pin and then pin it to the middle of the garment. You'll want to make sure your picot is right side together with your lace with the flat edge at the top, so when you flip it over it looks like that. To sew on the elastic, I'll be using a 3-step zigzag stitch with a width of 5 and a length of 1.5. Slightly stretching the elastic as you sew. After that's sewn, we'll trim off the excess lace. Flip the band and then sew using the same 3-step zigzag stitch. Working from the back of the garment, the hook side is going to go on the right side with the hook facing down, and the eye will go onto the left side with the eye facing up. To help me sew these on, I use Wonder Tape, which is a type of sewing tape that is sticky on both sides and dissolves in the wash. I'll be using a narrow zigzag stitch to secure the closure. To get close enough on the hook side, I swapped my sewing foot. To finish everything off, I'm going to be covering my garter clips with ribbon. You'll want to be very careful sewing on the ribbon. You can either sew it through this top portion here or through the wider portion. I'm going to go ahead and go with the wider portion there. Using a button stitch, you'll want to be cautious that the needle doesn't hit the metal of the garter. That can easily break your needle. Before starting, run your machine by hand to make sure that the needle doesn't hit the garter. Wear protective eye gear if necessary. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.